And welcome back, my name is still DragonDrop, and this is still the joinDOTA League Europe Division 2.3, game number 2 of uebelst Gaming versus Fureur Multigaming, the French team against the Germans. uebelst Gaming displayed a really nice performance in game number 1, crushing Fureur and the whole lineup with some nice Sand King play. As well as the Battle Rider doing what a Battle Rider does the best, just dragging people out of position. And Fureur never really got their game together, never able to execute the game plan that they had, because they were shut down really hard. And that aggressive tri-lane that they went with the Life Stealer, the Ancient Apparition as well as the Vengeful Spirit, didn't work out. First Blood went to uebelst Gaming on the back of a level 1 Burst Strike, funnily enough. And they never abandoned that tri-lane after that, so I feel like they could have salvaged the situation a little bit better if they just tried to switch up the lanes a little bit. As it stands though, uebelst Gaming, one game ahead in this 2-game series, and now picking up the Battle Rider once again. This guy really did some nice work on that hero last game, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Slug and Invoker, same bands coming out from them as well. Ancient Apparition this time around, gonna be the second band for Fureur. And they pick up the Doom and the Dazzle. Doom, of course, a very tanky hero. That can do a lot of things and is sort of an anti-carry, because this Doom basically takes a hero out of the fight unless you're really late game. And you Doom a right clicker that doesn't really rely on his skills at this point.
10 seconds to go.
Dazzle, of course, a support hero that can work really well and just babysitting someone and keeping you alive. And Dazzle, yeah, they can run dual lanes if they really want to. Just but uebelst Gaming can do the same thing with the Lich, of course. You put the Lich as well as the Battle Rider in the off lane, and the Lich will be able to keep that lane sucked back under his own tower just by virtue of sacrifice to help out the Battle Rider with this level gain. Apart from that, though, Lich doesn't give you too much in the early stages, whereas the Dazzle can do some work with just one level into Poison Touch and Shadow Wave. So, but it all depends on the matchups and the rest of the heroes that they have. It's really too early in a draft to tell how it's gonna play out. Battle Rider, of course, as I mentioned last game, he will always be able to find his Blink Dagger. If it's not in the offlane, it's gonna be in the jungle, if the support is stacking it up for him. And honestly, Lich, that's something that Lich could do without any problems. Just deny creep here and there, and then just stack the jungle for Battle Rider to get a really early Blink Dagger. So Mirana banned out, not wanting to deal with these kind of arrows again. And Weaver, and they might ban the Lycanthrope again here. These two split pushes that can really punish you for taking too long to execute, or for taking too long to find a gank or an opening with all of your heroes. I don't have a cursor again. This is so annoying. I just don't see it.
Radiance ban.
Yeah. I know it's somewhere there at the bands, but I can't actually see it. But it will come back usually. But it's still really annoying. Might be because I'm tabbing out a little bit, but
10 seconds to go.
yeah, Lycanthrope gonna be the second ban, so they're not changing a whole lot in their draft for now.
Reserve time.
Fureur Gaming also dipping into the reserve time right now, and they really need to make something happen. They want to get this game underway in their favor this time around. And because the draft is a little bit slow, I'm actually gonna go on to joinDOTA and check their standings. I've missed to do that before this game started.
Dyer's pick.
Okay, uebelst Gaming. You wouldn't think that in light of their performance last game, but they're actually only sitting at 6-6 at number 8 in the group. And Fureur Multigame is sitting at 7-7, so Head-to-head matchup, not too much of a difference, but judging by the last game, uebelst definitely the better team, but who knows? Maybe Scotty's actually Dindy or something like that. Alright, Nyx Assassin picked up for Fureur multi-gaming, so he's probably gonna head to the off lane, which would leave Doom either in mid or as the hard farmer in the safe lane.
5
Babysat
seconds.
by the Dazzle. Nyx Assassin was banned out last game,
Reserve
and
time.
he's a top pick, and for a good reason, because he doesn't need a whole lot of farm. All he needs is a couple of levels, and he usually is able to find that because he can play a little bit more aggressively than other heroes just because of the spike carapace and the stun. And yeah, Nyx Assassin all around good hero. If he finds the farm to get a Blink Dagger, then he is as good as an initiator as you can think. Comparable to a Slaughter, but with a line stun in front of him instead of an AoE stun around him. So Tinker is going to be the next pickup for Fureur, and that's going to be the middle lane, one would imagine. And yeah, I'll talk about Tinker in a little bit. But first, the Morphling on uebelst Gaming. Really hard carry. He's coming back into the meta right now in a variety of different positions. Sometimes you see him as a hard carry farmer, sometimes you just see him in mid. And on either position, if you leave him alone and if he gets the farm, then he can, and he gets the shotgun build up, he can be an influence, but he's not the hardest carry late game. That's the thing that he has. I mean, but as a trade-off, you can't kill him once he is level 6 and has a replicate up. But even then, he can morph strength, he can waveform out if he has it up. So Morphling, very slippery carry. He can do a decent amount of right click if he morphs all agility. But yeah, we'll see how that works out for uebelst Gaming. It's hit or miss very much with this hero, and Shadow Shaman picked up again. Really good performance last game. Fureur, of course, never able to recapitalize on Shadow Shaman's weaknesses in particular, so he usually got all the spells off and his wards, even in team fights. Really, really nice, and was a difference maker, really. Alright, let's talk about the Tinker, and I really love seeing that hero get into gear, and as soon as he gets his boots of travels up, he's just bouncing around the map, split pushing there, and he can also do some decent team fighting. I mean, for maybe the first 20 minutes in the game, you can't fight into the March. That's just the way of it.
Radiant's pick.
Yeah, you usually see Tinkers maxing out the March of the Machines for good reason, because it's a good pushing, it's a good pushing ability, but it's also a really good teamfight ability, or just to defend towers. The towers gaming, Tinker will just teleport in, or just if he's in position, if he doesn't have the boots of travel up, just go there, drop down a March or two, and then uebelst Gaming can't fight that. Not really anyway, unless they have the wards up. Maybe they can do damage to the tower, but it's really hard to go into that March and pick up as many heroes as they did in teamfights of the last game. Viper gonna be the last pickup. Strong carry, strong laner. He's gonna win this lane almost no matter what. And against the heroes that uebelst Gaming has right now, he will most likely do just that. So, how are they gonna lane this? Huh. This would actually put the Nyx Assassin in a support role. And Nyx Assassin or Doom, but the Nyx Assassin would make more sense, and then either put the Tinker or the Viper in the offlane.
10 seconds
to have the Doom as the hard farmer. Don't really want the Doom in the offlane because you don't necessarily have access to the jungle. I mean, there's medium camp right next to you, but it's really dangerous to go in there, and then again, you can't guarantee that you get a good creep. So it's probably gonna be Viper or Tinker in the offlane, or the middle lane. So one of those heroes will probably end up in any one of those lanes. And Luna gonna be picked up, so aggressive potential for uebelst Gaming, but with the Batrider picked up, with the Lich picked up, maybe not so much. So I think they're gonna go defensive, put the Batrider in the off lane, which would leave Morphling to the middle lane. So, all right, we'll see how that shapes up. Sweet. Damn it. See, I don't have a cursor. That's just so annoying. There we go. Yay.
Places, everyone.
Okay, let's run through the lineups. On the dire side, uebelst gamynG. Sky on the offlane. Batrider, Scotty, sticking with him right now. He's a stand-in right for uebelst gamynG today. He's playing the Shadow Shaman this time around, so we'll see whether he can play as impressively as he did on the Sand King last game. W-Boy, Biceps, morphing around because he can. He's heading to the middle lane on the Morphling. Alex gonna play the support Lich in the 5 position, and the 1 position, the carry, the Hardfather, will be played by Aya. Matrice gonna be on the Viper this time around. Looks like he's the one heading to the offlane, but Sig on the Dazzle is hanging around here too, as well as the person whose name I cannot pronounce for the life of me. So, Nyx Assassin, played by this excellent player. So yeah, they might actually go aggressive with the Viper. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But at least Tinker, K3K of course, in the middle lane. And Crush in the solo save lane with the Doom. So, solo save for the Doom is alright. You have access to your jungle usually, but usually you want to get a creep before you start laning. So what you usually see is that the support takes the lane, gets the first 1 or 2 creep waves, while Doom finds a creep into the jungle, maybe a regen creep or an armor creep. Maybe just a crit creep, like one of these alpha wolves, depending on what kind of lane matchup he's in. But not happening right now as they're angling for an aggressive lane. And with the Viper, I've seen that happen in another game I cast today, which was in the starter division. The team also ran a Viper in aggressive tri-lanes, and this hero acts sort of like a buffer, which just protects your supports. Your supports are not protecting you as a carry, which is usually the case in lanes, but he just protects his support as well, simply because he has so much harassment potential in the early game with that poison attack.
And here we go.
He can zone out enemy heroes just because of that, and if they go on him, his supports will be able to control him up.
Radiant on one
And
side,
with Nyx Assassin,
Dire on
you
the
can
other.
definitely do that. That of course provides the heals. If they go on him, the supports will be able to control and keep him alive. And if they go on the supports, then Viper will be able to dish out a lot of damage. So that's why I kind of like Viper in aggressive tri-lanes. Defensive tri-lanes not so much, because he is a hero that will need or will want levels usually. So, but if this aggressive tri-lane works out as they want it to work out, then he's gonna get that gold in these levels from kills that they're gonna pick up. Well, yeah, Nyx Assassin actually found himself an Invis rune, so if Aya picked up poison attack, poison touch, nice body block coming out. Is that enough damage? It will be.
That's a first blood.
First blood on the back of an Invis rune pickup, so yeah. Nice start for Fureur this time around. In this aggressive lane. And Scotty not in position to help him out. There's nothing you could have done anyway, because Shadow Shaman, level 1, not the biggest lane presence. Not at all. He has a Hex for 1.25 seconds. He has Shackles that also lock him in place. Up against a tri-lane, he doesn't help you too much. Up against a singular hero, yeah, sure, he can lock him down, because you don't have to worry about your positioning too much. If you know there's only one hero in the lane, you can just shackle him up without risk to yourself, but as it stands, if you shackle up 1 or hex 1, then you're out of position most of the time, because the ranges on his skills aren't the best. And he has to get pretty close, and getting close against a Viper can be chancy, especially if you're a squishy target like Shadow Shaman. Middle lane though? What's going on here? Yeah, Alex supporting the Morphling actually here a little bit. Prompted Sig to rotate around to try and help out the Stinker a little bit as well. Yeah. So, yeah, Lich is a popular hero for dual lanes. Simply because he is helping the farmer or the traditional hero that you have in the lane in multiple ways. the most obvious one is of course the sacrifice, keeping the lane stuck back, keeping the lane control, which is really, really important in the first couple of minutes in the laning phase. Then you also have the Frost Blast, which does some okay damage, but only level 2 or 3. And it's also a nice slow if you have the opportunity. Like maybe right now. Yeah. And Morphling is a carry, of course, that can capitalize on that if because he has some nice laning presence once he's level 2 or 3, because that waveform doing some good damage in the early stages. And it's also, it's not just a nuke, but also a repositioning tool. And position, of course, one of the most important things in Dota in general. So, W Boy doing good once again in this game. Bottom lane matchup though, Crush. Gonna get crushed by Sky, no doubt about it. Scorched Earth will help him to some degree, but he's not always gonna have mana. Doom not exactly a hero that can rely on that, although stick charges will help him out. But we just saw how much damage Sky can put out onto him. Doesn't have any consumables left of his own though, so he might have to rotate out, get back to base. But he's almost level 6, so... and he picked up a lot of CS in his bottom lane, so... he's doing fine. Shutting down the Doom as much as he can. So, oh, Morphling doing a lot of damage. March is gonna come out, but Tinker, there's the Frostblast slowing him down, but Dazzle is still there. Shellgrave will make sure that he's alive, so... fighting in March, it's not... here! W Boy just taking so much damage from just 3 or 4 of these March thingies. Machines. So yeah. Oh, Alex went up, but yeah, not quite enough damage from the poison touch. So he was living life on the edge, definitely there. But gonna get away scot-free. Big winner of this though was the Viper. He's sitting on top of the CS spot in an aggressive tri-lane, and the Luna only sitting at 10. But this just the nature of the Viper with these lanes, and there. Lots of damage coming out of Scotty. One stun from the Nyx Assassin is enough. Viper is so good in the early game because he can capitalize on if he has another hero like the Nyx Assassin who can land a stun. He can punish bad positioning so well because he has so much damage between the Nether Toxin and the poison attack that this is just a really, really good hero in the early stages in the game. This is why he will always win the lane. If it's gonna be the same numbers at least. And it's even truer against squishy heroes like the Luna. And of course the Shadow Shaman, who doesn't even have that much of a lane presence. And yeah, he doesn't even try anymore. He is looking to make something happen in the middle lane. But Dead Ward spotting out that movement, so he's not gonna fool anyone. So yeah, top lane, win for Fureur, but Morphling's doing well in the middle lane. And that's just where you see that Lich coming into effect. It's a subtle effect, but the sacrifice does add up. Gives you and your other hero levels. It denies levels from the opponent, levels and last hits too, so... Sky picked up a Haste Rune, and he has his lasso up, so this is gonna be a dead Doom. He decides to go on it. Doesn't know where he is though. It's a big question. Yeah, he does. Gonna use Firefly. No, why not? Go, Sky, Sky, go. There we go. Firefly, Napalm. Does he have Doom up there? He doesn't have mana, but... dude, you can use the lasso. There we go. There we go. Trying to, yeah, get Morphling in to help him out with some DPS. But yeah, with the Scorched Earth though, and the Shallow Grave, he's gonna be able to actually get away, so... nice rotation from Sick. uebelst not focusing on him, so... Doom gets away with his life. But then again... Lasso expanded, but it's not the biggest deal because they're not exactly behind. Fureur now, K3K taking a lot of damage, but not quite enough follow-up. Right, Viper seems like he's going for the mechanism build, so that's a really good item on him, because he tends to have some problems with health regen. Doesn't have a lot of that by default, so if you get a health regen item like that, you have a lot of sustain that you really need as a Viper, because you don't have a lot of mana problems. Not really. At least not if you're not constantly spamming your poison attack on the same target, because the poison attack is a 2-second duration, I think, yeah. And when you hit it again, it just stacks. It just refreshes. It doesn't stack. So, as you want to hit every hero every 2 seconds if you can. And if you're doing that every once in a while, you're not gonna have any mana problems. But health problems, if you take some harassment, you're gonna have a hard time getting that back up without help. So mechanism, of course, with the armor as well. All around good pickup on the Viper.
I want to mine the top tower.
It also takes off pressure off the supports. This assassin doesn't have to buy anything like that. He can focus on trying to get a blink dagger and the dazzle as well. Frees him up to get something else like arcane boots. Dazzle is the one with the mana problems in this thing. This assassin, of course, as well. Both of these heroes will want to pick up mana boots at some point, and not having to build an early mechanism helps them out in that regard. Viper now left alone on this top lane. Supports rotating to middle lane. Nyx assassin has level 6, uses his vendetta. Might find Morphling, but playing very defensively. Yeah. And he also has his supports in the backlines. Scotty now with a couple of levels under his belt does some good damage with the Ether Chuck. Has the Hex as well as the Shackles, so he can provide some control. Nice 2-man Frost Blast. Morphling just blows the Tinker up. Frost Blast getting some good bounces. Sig taking a lot of damage now. Nyx assassin shackled up. Doom coming in though. Doom's up the Morphling, so he's in a lot of trouble. He will take the fall. Shallow Grave will also keep the Nyx assassin alive. So even exchange mid for mid, but the Doom was expended. Let's take a look at the gold draft actually. Yeah, Fureur. Not the best trade for them, I would imagine, but not the worst either. Experience actually in favor of uebelst. Not quite sure why that is. Gold in favor of them, and experience in favor of Fureur. Probably just because of Doom Devour. Hang on. Viper's in a lot of trouble. Eclipse used, cleaning him up quite nicely. Rest of support not even needed, and that means Bad Rider can pick up his Blink Dagger right now. Opens him up to get another opportunity on another kill. So the first time you get, yeah, the first gank you do with the Blink Dagger without having revealed it already is the most important one, because it can be a 3 kill. I mean, it's 10 minutes in, so Fureur might just expect that something like that to be up on him now. There we go. Blink. Lasso onto the Dazzle, but there's no damage follow-up. Viper's coming in. Viper Strike, not going off just yet. There we go. Sky in a lot of trouble, but not so much as he can just Firefly up. Lich, I don't know what he was doing. He didn't need to save the battle, and he could do that himself, so he basically just fed the Viper, and that's not something that you want to do. Viper falls off in the late game, but in the mid game, if he gets ahead, he is a monster. And he's getting a hand of Mitre, so he's looking for a 20 to 30 minutes timing to be out of control. And if they let him, and it seems like now that they do it, that can definitely happen. I mean, they picked him off once, but he got a kill after that, so... So we take a look at the net worth, yeah, he's still sitting on the very top. Luna not even near there. Sitting at about half the net worth of the Viper. She's really poor, doesn't even have the treads. Now that's... Oh, a stun on him. Couple of right clicks will be enough. W boy. Teleport in, but he's just taking the last couple of creeps, not able to help us carry out. So, this means he has to take more responsibility too. Luna is nowhere near able to carry anytime soon. Certainly not before the Viper hits his stride. He's gonna go back to base. But the problem is if... Oh, Sky looking for the Doom, but he gets the Doom off, but Scotty is still there. The Firefly is already going, so... Crush with the Scorched Earth though, he's quite safe, but he wanting to get Sky. He's actually gonna get him with the Scorched Earth, it seems, so with a bit of a weird engagement, but Doom is quite tanky if he gets the Scorched Earth off. Can't underestimate that.
Tower won't last much longer.
Really the first blunder I've seen Sky do tonight. But yeah, if you have a Luna that's not doing a whole lot outside of Eclipse, depending on the situation of course, that can be working or not for you. And if you only have the Morphling to do other work for you, and you have a Doom on the opposite team, then this Doom is gonna go on the Morphling in these team fights. And he can't do a whole lot. Silence really shuts him down quite a lot, as we see another lasso onto Matrice. Taking a lot of damage, throws out the Viper Strike just to keep the Batrider away, but it's not gonna help him against the Morphling. Quick waveform into our right click will pick him off, so... Viper, tanky enough, but he doesn't have his mechanism up just yet.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
Actually, he might have it on the courier.
No breaking down the Radiant structures like this.
No, alright.
Radiant's mid
But he did go back full of the Midas, so... Ward's committed, trying to bring down his tier 1 tower. Much of the machines though doesn't allow them to go in anywhere close, so these wards will be farmed. Tower will not go down, I don't think. Actually, yeah, it is also in the deny range, but they have to clean up the wards right now. Oh, they actually died to the wards. I didn't think this was gonna happen. Didn't commit on the wards, even though they could have. Didn't get to deny either. A little bit of a misplay there, but now they're angling for Viper once again. It's Batrider sitting in the sidelines. Doesn't have a last for another 20 seconds though, so... He's going for it anyway. Blink into no lasso, but the napalm stacks. And the rest of the support will be able to pick him off. Now there's the Doom coming up. But the Eclipse turnaround picks him up, but W Boy will take out from this. Will they get the deny? Yes, they will. So nice exchange for uebelst gaming them. K3K picking up the slag, defending the tower. So not even gonna lose that. Scott in the meantime takes the time to try and find some semblance of farm. He does have his arcane boots up. No split push on bottom. He doesn't have the wards yet. But he might by the time he has to abandon this push, so...
Radiant's bottom towers.
Take a look at the goal graph, and yeah, uebelst gaming coming back into this game quite nicely. Alex working on a mechanism of his own. Experience graph also in their favor. Quite nicely as well, sitting at about 2000. Of course, gold graph just eclipsed the 0 line. So yeah. Luna, even though she's had a bad start, she's using her skill set. Yeah, she's doing what she can, and that's spamming out the Lucent Beam and the Eclipse, and just helping out with the Luna Blessing Aura. Sometimes you will see Lunas go only 2 points into the aura in favor of another point into the Glaze, but in this situation, giving that extra damage to his team. It's always gonna... It's a little bit better right now as she doesn't have enough farm. Going for that little bit of a greedy build with the Morbid Mask instead of BKB. Yeah, they don't need to fight right now, they can just slow siege these towers once the wards are up. W Boy taking a lot of damage with Morphic Strength is too OP. This tower is gonna go down, not gonna get the deny either, but Sky not done yet. Gets the lasso into the wards. Nick's Assassin caught out of position, but anything else not gonna be possible because of the march of machines. But they don't want anything, they want to defend their tier 2 bottom. That Matrice has been split pushing, not gonna be a little bit too late though. A lot of damage coming out on the Luna. Needs one more right click. Fureur is going for K3K is going for it, but has to abandon. Changing target to W Boy. No more strength to morph. Will he survive actually? Doesn't have mana, doesn't have health, but Matrice not willing to dive on the tier 2 towers. He was pretty low as well, so lots of shots fired, but none of them was lethal in this bottom lane. But we're getting the tier 1 tower, so... But then again, if you want to look at it that way, oh, yeah, we're losing Alex. Makes a little bit of an even trade, I suppose. They do lose. They top tier 1. They get the other one. They get the Lich, but they lose an X, so even exchange right now. Yeah, it's also reflected in gold drafts. One thing that keeps Fureur in the game is the Midas on the Doom. I mean, he's already gonna have an advantage just because of the Devour, but add a Midas into that, his gold gain is quite well, and yeah, you already see he's caught up now behind the Viper, eclipsed the Morphling in net worth. Not by much right now, but that's only gonna go up. Are there any Midases on the other team? Nope, no Midas, but 2 Midases on both Matrice and Crush. So if this game goes later, and the Luna doesn't catch on anytime soon, I'm gonna give this to Fureur, because they also have a Tinker that can do the split pushing. They have the Matrice. It can be an influence if he stays ahead enough in the late game, but he does fall off eventually, of course. But the Doom's always gonna be good enough, but yeah. This goes late, then uebelst is gonna have the advantage. If everyone is 6-slotted, Morphling and Luna are gonna beat Viper Doom hands down. Sky looking for someone, but no one to be found. The ward's again committed, but this time around just some extra farm from Matrice. So the rest of the team is not able to follow up. So yeah, we'll see. Fureur has a specific timing that they need to hit, and this timing is gonna start really soon. At about between 20 and 30 minutes. When the Luna still doesn't have her farm, and the Morphling can be dealt with because you have a Doom. Yeah, Doom actually picked off down here against the Lich, so Sky doing work again. Not even using the lasso though, I don't know what happened there. But yeah, with the Doom you can take out the Morphling, and yeah, he had to retreat. I mean, even if you don't kill him, he has to retreat because he can't stay in these fights. If he does, then he's gonna die because he can't morph any extra strength. Or can wait for him out or stuff like that. Yeah, timing window. We'll see how that works out. They are stacking the Ancients. Luna's doing that herself with the Dominating Creep. So she'll have that to fall back on. I'm not quite sure if that's gonna be enough. It's not a Tinker. It's also fully online. He's farming Ancients of his own. And he can always farm all the lanes pretty much. Whichever one is safe at the moment. And with the Blink Dagger, you're never gonna catch him. He's gonna queue that up after he teleports in. Gonna go somewhere in the woods, throw out 1 or 2 marches, gonna go back, so... It's one thing that Fureur is going for them that's gonna help them hit their timing. This Luna dies again in the jungle. I really have to try and focus on what's actually going on instead of trying to analyze timing windows and late game situations. Alright. W-Boy might be in trouble. He's doomed up. Troll Trap will keep him in place for a little bit. Scorcher Earth doing some nice damage. Laser and Rocket will ensure the kill. So yeah, 2 cores down for uebelst and not looking too good right now. Fureur getting back ahead in the gold and the experience heading straight to the 0 line once again in this game. So this one much closer than the last one. Last one was a stomp more or less. This one, uebelst Gaming, really it's much more of a test for them right now. They're still not out of it, of course. They still have a Luna if they just can get the game late enough. Then they do have the potential to capitalize on the hard carry that is the Luna. But yeah, I'm repeating myself right now, so should maybe stop doing that. Fureur now. Oh, are they looking for Roshan? That's a big question. Put down a sentry so our next assassin can surprise them. But yeah, they're just waiting for someone to come out here. W-Boy will maybe find the Tinker, but he's a little bit slippery with the item build that he's got now. But Sky is also looking for trouble now. Has a blink available. But Fureur realizing something's up. Rockets are gonna find them in the woods.
Tower's getting beat down.
Gonna see an engagement now, but uebelst is gonna turn this into a push. This is a mediocre creep wave, but the second one is already on the way, so... But with the march of machines, it's so hard to go into that, and K3K will just keep spamming that. Don't think uebelst can engage here. But they do. Commit the Serpent Wards. There's the aggressive weave. Sky gets the next assassin though, so he's out of the picture. Clip's gonna go. Doom taking a lot of damage because of it. Shallow Grave will keep him alive for a little bit longer, but he has to retreat. Last right clicks. Yeah, last auto attacks from the wards. Not gonna be enough. Now, the Dazzle gonna take the fall. W-Boy doomed up, but not gonna be enough to take him down. Next assassin bought back looking for a target, but not gonna find anyone. Is uebelst called the general order to retreat. So uebelst actually getting the slightly better trade there. So also picked up the Nyx and even forced out a buyback, but Fureur did defend the tower. Didn't do too much damage, and they got the walls and everything, so even exchange, I would say. Yep. Rouse confirmed. Yeah. Now Fureur has to take the opportunity to start making something happen up there, and they can't just always keep fighting on their side of the map, because then they will eventually lose the fight maybe, or are out of position, and then the wards of the Shadow Shaman will do work and take down the tower. So they need to take the fight to the other side, to the dire side, and then take towers and try and break high ground before 30 minutes. Because the Luna is now working on Amanda style. Has she done the Ancients yet? Nope, there's still a triple stack, it would seem, for her to take. So we'll see when she decides to do that. Yeah, the more time we give that Luna, the harder to deal with she becomes. Scotty almost level 11, so level 2 Serpent Wards are incoming.
Stoke my fire.
Apart from that, he already also got a Blink Dagger of his own, so... And Scotty, of course, Shadow Shaman, of course, a hero that really relies on his positioning, but... Uh-oh, he's gonna be dead. Hex not gonna help you too much. Ward Trap, though, not gonna work wide enough.
My ancestors welcome me. Poison closes your veins.
What's with all the scribbling?
Sad face for Shadow Shaman. Caught out of position by the rotation of Madris. And he used the wards for that too. They're down for about 90 seconds, so... This will mean a Roshan or a tower, depending on what Fureur wants to do. They want to defend him, it seems, yeah. Or rotate him back around to the Morphling, but you can't kill him. Because you can't find him, because it's gonna replicate out. Sky is actually looking at the scenery, waiting for someone to come by. And yep, they're coming back for Roshan now. They definitely should, but the time window is past. Shadow Shaman is back, but Watson not up yet, so technically they could still do it. But there's an engagement in the middle lane. Doom on the Morphling. Lesser though on to Crush, and he's nice stunned by the next assassin, takes out the Alex. He doesn't have mana for the Chain Frost. Dazzle will go down on the backlines. Now Crush, isolated, shackled up. A lot of right clicks, but it's not gonna be enough. He's so tanky right now. Macho Machines will give him covering fire. He will die in the end. But so does the Bat Rider. Hacks onto the Tinker, but he is able to blink away. Auto attack, not able to reach him in time. Scrappy engagement, but uebelst taking the slight advantage there. Can't they capitalize on it though? Scotty smoked up, trying to do what he can. But it's not a whole lot. The rest of his team says, screw you. You can push if you want, but we're leaving. Yeah, next assassin. Throws out the stun. Scotty has to blink away.
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower?
Huh. Really close game right now. Fureur is sitting at 5,000 gold advantage, but experience going back towards the zero line once again in favor of uebelst. So it comes down to initiation and execution. I mean, they dragged back the Doom and isolated him pretty well, but they didn't have quite enough damage to follow it up. because Luna hasn't had much item progression. He's going back for a BKB now. Still has taken that ancient attack, it would seem, so. But Patrice looking for hearts, and this will extend the timing window that he is available to him. Make him really much more tanky. But I still believe the time is running out for Fureur. If they keep trading even like that, then they're gonna be on the back foot eventually. So we see uebelst now once again trying to put up some pressure in this bottom lane. But the trouble is, you have a Tinker on the other team. He's gonna spam out marches. At the very least, these marches are gonna take out the creep wave quite nicely.
Mid-tower won't last much longer.
And if you decide to engage into that, then you're pretty suicidal. Unless you're really far ahead, you just can't really do that.
Hope the Dire weren't partial to
That march is not gonna catch up.
No.
Not quite catching up. So this tower will go down.
Radiant's bottom tower's done for. Dire's mid tower's having technical difficulties. Them Dire
Tinker teleporting out to the middle lane because the rest of the team is here already as well. Yeah, uebelst Gaming, they are in position to defend this, but they just have to go in at some point. Luna sitting in the backlines trying to pick someone off who's retreating. But only if they were low. With a double damage wound on Tinker. They're gonna play it safe though. Sky isn't. He's looking for trouble. He might find someone here, but that's the entire team. Shiva's God gonna get him because Nyx Assassin runs into Firefly with Spike Carapace. Mechanism though will be able to get him out of trouble. And yeah. One of the reasons why Nyx Assassin is so good, especially against Bat Riders. Oh yeah, that's a replicate, man. That's just a replicate. Viper doesn't have an Item Scepter, so... Ah, he actually didn't use the Viper Strike. Looked like that for a second there, but... one of the reasons why Nyx Assassin is so good against Bat Rider, haven't actually talked about it yet, but... It is the case, because you can... just run into the Firefly with his Spike Carapace and get a stun off whenever, wherever. Basically, right? Counters Bat Rider quite nicely. Situational, of course, but Sky has to be careful about where to lay down his Firefly. And where to be. Can't be as aggressive as you normally could with the Bat Rider. But yeah, Fureur 5-manning right now. But what is the Tinker doing? Why? Yeah. He has a Dagon, so he went for that fighting build. He can definitely nuke some people down. But not if he's Laszlo back. Is there any follow-up? Weave's gonna go down. Nice chain throw. Is gonna get a couple of bounces, I would imagine. But Alex is gonna take the fall. Bat Rider has been blown up too. It's gonna get a couple of bounces, but these heroes are so tanky. Not tanky enough though, so Doom does die as well as the Viper. Luna's Eclipse doing a lot of work. She might take out from the Doom though. Yes, she does. 4 for 3 trade. But they get all the cores and the Morphling is still alive. Wow. That flank saved uebelst Gaming's base there. It really did. That Eclipse doing a lot of damage. And that's exactly the damage that they need. The Doom, of course, used it under Luna. I mean, she did die in the end, but... the Morphling is still the one that's a little bit more dangerous, I feel. I mean, look at Luna, she went survivability, she got a BKB. She doesn't right-click that hard, so all she has is the Eclipse. I mean, in that situation, it wrecked them because there's no magic immunity up on any one of these heroes. Yeah, right? And that... Oh! K3K is in trouble, actually. W-Boy. Doing a lot of damage. Not having enough follow-up though, as the shotgun is not online. But now it is. Just needs to pick it up. So next time around, if he catches out the Tinker like that, then the Tinker will probably die. So yeah. Then nice initiation there. Oh, counter initiation I should say, as they did get Sky. And the Chain Frost did some bounces, but it bounced between Doom and the Viper, which are really tanky heroes at this stage in the game. So it did help, of course, but wasn't the best Chain Frost that you could have hoped for, I would think. Now Roshan's gonna be a target, but Fureur knows what's up. 5-man smoke. But Roach is already really low. There might not be in time to go in, but there's a blink into the Shiva's Guard. Doom will go down to the Dire. Luna picks up the edges, but now a fight breaks out. Morphling and Shadow Shaman annihilated instantly. Lich will take a fall. Matrice though dropped into the trees, but it's not gonna be enough. The H is gonna be popped. Luna doesn't have any support. She will be nuked down once again, and it's a 5-man wipe. Going the way of Fureur. Wow. Wow. Did see that coming. Didn't think that uebelst were that far behind it.
Technical difficulties.
That was, yeah, it came down to initiation. That's just Dota in a nutshell for you. So, uebelst takes Roche, but they lose all their heroes.
Dire's mid tower won't last much
They don't get any kill at all, so... And now they will be able to get this tower down eventually.
right now.
There's some buybacks available, I think they have to use them all.
The Dire
But they will just concede the Rax, it seems.
ain't looking good for the Dire's mid-rags.
Yeah, Dota in a nutshell, it's all about initiation.
Mid-rags.
They picked off the Morphling, which is a major source of damage right now for uebelst. They picked up the Shadow Shaman, which is a major source of control. He didn't get the wards off in this fight.
About that bottom tower.
So these two heroes immediately taken out of the equation
Dire's bottom
results in a
tower's
happy
getting
phase for
weaker.
Fureur's lineup. And yeah, was almost too late, but they did manage to hit the timing window.
The Dire gave up.
Take a Rax, take another tower, and if they really want to, they can engage once again. Doom is gonna be up in a couple of seconds. Viper Strike is up.
Top towers. You know,
Vendetta is up. They all have their ultimates. Skies as well, he's looking for someone, but do you really want to go on it? He does, but he's immediately stunned up and blown up. Eclipse gonna be tanked by a lot of the creeps. Wards go down, and K3K managing to get away. Doom now up on biceps. W boy.
5 in a row.
He morphed a lot of strength, but
That's 4 in a row. 3 down.
the second team wipe in a row.
Guess what?
Crush is dominating. That's gonna be a second Rax, and it's probably gonna be GG. Buyback on the Luna, but this is not gonna be enough.
The Dire best do something about that bottom tower.
Fureur coming out of the zone. They did hit the timing window at the very edge of where I thought they would need to hit it.
Bottom rags got problems.
Shutting down the Luna early really made that possible for them.
A fond farewell to the
I'm
Dire.
basically just waiting for uebelst to call it. There's nothing they can do right now. All the heroes are dead.
The Dire's
Probably
bottom
just
rags
talking it over. Trying to find out what has happened. Yeah, it will come down to the draft. It's a little bit greedy to pick up a Shadow Shaman and a Lich to support a Luna up against a Viper, really. Viper was a late pickup, but really screwed them over in the end. It's just the way of it. So 2 Rex down. Fureur can just reset and re-engage, do the same thing on top lane. K3K is actually doing that now already. But yeah, Viper trialing pretty strong. Able to shut down the Luna completely in the early game, and she still hasn't quite caught up. She got a BKB, now looking to finish up the Manta Star, but it's way too late for that. Actually selling the Manta Star. Selling the ultimate orb once they have the buyback, so there's still some fight left in them, but I'm not quite sure if they're able to execute without being rolled over. Doom is up again. He has a double damage rune for about half time left. Blink Dagger, Shiva's Guard, Boots of Travel. Nick's Assassin went back for a Necro Book, only level 1 right now, so I don't know. They don't really need that pickup. Gem up on that land, 4 stars, so... Sky now looking to make something happen. But last time he did this, he gets caught out. Not now though, he'll get Patrice, but he has a heart. He's super tanky, they just can't kill him. Now Doom is there. Hasn't used it yet. There. triggers the Lincoln Sphere, uses doing a couple of right clicks, no strength morph, so he will take the fall. Lich, very, not exactly the tankiest hero. The Serpent Wards at this point do nothing to the Doom, he shrugs them off with a large amount of armor that he has. 3 complete team wipes back to back, and this will finally prompt the GG coming out of uebelst Gaming. So these two teams split the series to 1-1. Some really nice games. The first one was a little bit of a stomp, but this one was quite close for the longest time. Fureur able to hit that timing window, as I mentioned just a minute ago. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. My name is dragonDROP. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so on twitter.com/dragondropdota. There's also the same name for my Twitch channel, so follow me there too if you want to keep up with all of my broadcasts. Actually gonna start casting a 64 team tournament tomorrow, put on by tactichive.com, so check that out if you get the chance. It's gonna start at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, I believe. So yeah, for tonight though, that's me signing off.